Hello, I'm Safi. Welcome to my channel and welcome to a new reading vlog. Today we are doing a bit of a different video than usual. I'm sure there's someone else out there that has done this before, but it's going to be my first time doing this type of kind of silly video. And I have to say, I am really excited about this. So if you've read the title, you probably already know what you're getting into. I have already put all of the titles on a spinner reel, but let me just tell you the books that I found that I would like to read for this vlog. Hopefully we'll get to all of them. I just thought to use a spinner wheel to decide in which order I am going to read them, but I do eventually want to get to all of these, so we will see. Our choices are Santasploitation by Judith Sonnet, which I still don't know what any of these are about, although admittedly some of these titles are quite self-explanatory. But this one is an extreme horror book about Santa Claus getting tortured, I think. The next one that is on the wheel is The Visitor by Sergio Gomez. The cover looks beautiful. I love it. And then the next book on my list is called Here Comes Santa Claus. It just kind of looked perfect for this type of video. Moving on to the smut. The first one is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Butt Raptor, and I mean, what can I say? I can't possibly say anything that will make this sound any better than it already does. The next Chuck Tingle book that I'm planning on reading for this vlog is Pounded in the Butt by the Unexpectedly Early Arrival of Christmas Decorations. And then the last one is All I Want for Christmas is to Eat Out My Christmas Tree. So those are the possibilities we have today. These books are going to put me into the Christmas feeling, the Christmas spirit. I am going to be saved by these, and I'm going to go from a stressful Christmas to a joyful one. Before we pick the first books, let me just tell you this vlog will probably have full spoilers. Let's just find out what I'm going to be reading as the first book. I'm now spinning the wheel and so yeah, the first book I'm going to be reading for this is All I Want for Christmas is to Eat Out My Christmas Tree. I will probably update you as I am reading it. Okay, so here we are downstairs. I am getting cozy on my sofa. I bet my Kindle did not expect me to look for that when I started typing out All I Want for Christmas. Here we go. I'm going to purchase this beautiful book. So yeah, let me just start. I've now read the first 7 pages. I thought I'd give you the first little update. The book opens with this woman who's going to look for the perfect Christmas tree to take home with her, and she's with a friend. They just scour the whole lot of Christmas trees. They look at all of the Christmas trees for sale in town, but none of them is the perfect Christmas tree that our main character here, I think her name is Amy, yeah, none of them is the perfect Christmas tree that she wants. So she decides to go on her own into the woods and just find the Christmas tree that she's looking for. She's just walking in the woods and she's seeing all these trees, and then suddenly she sees one tree that just stands out from all of the other ones because of how gorgeous it is. And the tree talks to her. Oh hey, the tree's blurts, turning around and smiling wide. I didn't see you there. I try my best to respond in a cool, casual manner, but immediately find myself stumbling over my words. There's a confidence to this tree that's undeniable, and I am really curious to see where this is going. Okay, so we're a couple of pages later and they're kissing. So that was quick. We're on page 10 and she's eating out the Christmas tree. So the tree came and like she shouted Merry fucking Christmas as she was coughing. we've just had a scene in which the Christmas tree was eating Amy out, and Amy, of course, comes after a bit. She feels as if she's been lifted out of my mortal frame, spiritually adrift, as visions of sugar plums dance in my head. Meanwhile, jingle bells ring out loudly in my ears, and the already wonderful scent of pine is momentarily replaced by the smell of baking gingerbread and peppermint bark. So if you ever wondered what it would feel like to get a head from a Christmas tree, then there you go. Okay, so apparently Christmas trees also have traditions of their own. Like, of course, like, it was stupid to think that it's only humans that have Christmas traditions, right? So yeah, what Christmas trees do every season, at least wild Christmas trees, I don't know about store-bought ones, but they also have a Christmas human that they keep around and that they put ornaments on, and then they lay gifts at their feet. So Amy and the Christmas tree, whose name is Nona, by the way, are going on a little bit of a cultural exchange, and Nona is going to be Amy's Christmas tree for a while, and then they're going to switch, and Amy is going to be Nona's Christmas human for a while. How stupid not to think of that, right? Good thing Chuck Tingle is here to enlighten us. Okay, so and then the story has a beautiful ending where they decide to stay in the woods. Amy gets all of the ornaments from the Christmas tree and be the Christmas human for a bit in the woods, and then she meets Nona's friends that have baked cookies apparently. So the story actually ends at page 15. That was actually kind of sweet. The rest of the book is probably going to be other stories. There's at least one more called My Lesbian Twice Baked Potato Ski Instructor Eats My Ass. I don't know if it's going to be Christmas themed. I guess I could try to read the first couple of pages and see if I want to read the whole thing or not. Okay, so I read the first couple of pages of that and it doesn't seem to be Christmas themed, so I'm gonna keep it for a different video. Now, instead, what we're gonna do is spin the wheel again and see what I'm going to be reading next. Okay, that was close, but here comes Santa Claus 1. I didn't know until the end if it was going to be Here Comes Santa Claus or The Visitor, because it was very close. But I guess I'm going to be reading Here Comes Santa Claus next. It's going to be nice to have a bit of horror after all of the sweetness and joy that I got from the first book. And I guess I am starting to get a little bit more into the Christmas mood. I'll let you know if if it increases as I go on. Okay, so I just started this. I'm literally on page 3. And well, it opens up with these two children, Harry and Lucy. Harry is 6 and Lucy is 11. It's Christmas Eve and they are sitting in front of the Christmas tree or something and just chatting with each other, their brother and sister. Harry is like a normal little boy. And then there's Lucy. She's extremely aggressive when talking to her little brother. So we're a few pages later and the perspective has changed because now we are following Santa Claus himself as he is traveling to deliver gifts to all the children in the world. But unfortunately, he ends up in a bit of a storm. He basically like falls down from the sky and passes out. When he comes back, he is in like this warehouse of sort. He steps on a nail, which was kind of a bit of a gruesome scene. Goes through a door and suddenly he is in this room that's decorated for Christmas, and it's like also perfect decorations and everything is just the epitome of Christmas. And he's like, oh wow, everything is perfect here. When suddenly Two hands grab him from the back, and when he turns, it's this beautiful woman that's got almost no clothes on, and she is kissing him. And I'm like, I thought I was reading horror. It's probably coming after a bit. I'm just a little bit confused as to the turn this has taken. Maybe I just have to be a little bit more patient. Also, this is so obviously written by a man. It's like almost embarrassing. Because yeah, the terms used to describe this woman are kind of very sexist. And I mean, it's self-conscious, but still, it just was like, all right, I'll continue. I'm halfway through page 17. Okay, so now the horror is starting. The woman leaves, just exits the room, and this man comes out instead, and he just, it seems kind of friendly at first, but there's something off about him. This man just takes this lever and turns it from high to low, and suddenly like things in the room start changing. So there was this little Christmas themed Jack-in-the-Box in the room before, and now it's like become completely black, and the man tells Santa to try it again. And so he does. It's gone from being a jack-in-the-box to a crap-in-the-box. And that's exactly what comes out of it. And it splatters all over Santa's face, and there's maggots in it. And some of them go into his mouth. We're getting some explanation about the crap that came out of the crap-in-the-box. It's not regular poop, it's coming from a dead body, and that's been buried for 6 days, then dug up, and then the fecal matter is extracted and then used for various purposes like energy conversion, non-Euclidean equation configuration, and good old necromancy. So there we go. There we have a little explanation for some Christmas music was playing in the room, and now it has morphed into a different song. Rudolph the MF reindeer. And now there's also bits of babies on the Christmas tree. I'm at page 24, 70% of the way in. I thought this would be a lot more fun, but, and I mean, extreme horror is kind of a bit of a special type of fun. This is not great. I think that some extreme horror books cross a line and some others don't. Like there's loads of taboos that one can talk about in extreme horror and it's fine. And then there's like a very small amount of things that is just, that crosses a line for me. And at that point, I just don't enjoy it anymore. So yeah, this definitely did that. I will finish it because it's just like 10 more pages. But yeah, this, the Christmas mood has been diminished by this. It's just talking about all of the things that have been like turned from Christmassy to gory now. It's not particularly original. Like I mentioned, the Christmas tree with the ornaments that are parts of babies, and well, it's really all just body parts and awful things happening to infants. The next thing that happens is that all of Santa's reindeer get like chopped in pieces and like butchered. Santa is introduced to these other reindeer that these people at the warehouse have created, and these are like a mix, like genetically modified reindeer, so that their DNA has been mixed with that of a fly or something. They're basically like rotting alive, and they have like jaws like a shark, which is just charming. They go on to showing what gifts they will be providing, because these people from the warehouse are people. They're not really people. I think they're demons or something. They'll be substituting the real Santa with their own rotting reindeer, and they'll be substituting Santa with this one demon dressed as Santa, basically. And the toys that they will be delivering are just looking like normal toys at first, like dolls and trucks and things, but they are all like poisoned. Like the dolls are poisoned so that when the children touch them, they will die in awful seizures. And then the trucks have been also poisoned in some way that will make the little boys kill the entire families and then self-combust, which will also burn down the entire house and, as it says, hopefully the entire neighborhood. To finish off the whole book, we get this scene where the demon guy that's going to become Santa cuts off Santa's face and puts it on his, and then dresses up as Santa, and then they go off to deliver the gifts and do whatever Santa does. So we never really come back to the first scene with the two kids. That was just kind of there. I don't get it. I thought we would be following these kids, and I thought these kids would be the ones that meet Santa Claus. But no, like those kids were just in the first chapter, and then we just switch to Santa Claus, and we never go back to the kids, which is a choice. Before I stop filming for the day, I just want to spin for the next book, because I'm just too curious. I need to know what I'm going to be reading next. Yeah. The Visitor by Sergio Gomez will be what I start tomorrow with. Hello vlog, here I am again. It's the day after. I'm still in the same position as yesterday. I have actually started The Visitor by Sergio Gomez while I was working out. So I've only read like the first couple of chapters, so not very much, but it's really interesting so far. I'm gripped already. I think we're following like 3 different characters. The setting is very wintry. There's a snowstorm and we are at this roadside restaurant and it's Christmas. There's this man who is driving. He's going home from work. He's with his dog in his car, and then suddenly they hit this piece of metal in the road and the car starts to spin and they end up having an accident, although neither he nor his dog are injured. So, but the car is just destroyed and it's in the middle of a snowstorm, so they can't really call anyone. They try to call someone to get help, but there is nothing available right there and then. So they're kind of desperate. Before that, we're actually following this other man who's also going home. He's in his truck, he's also driving, and he has to stop because of the snowstorm. So, and he stops right by the restaurant, which is also where the other man has just had his accident. So he goes over to check on the man that just had the accident. I think the truck driver is called Santiago and the man who's had the accident is Xavier. The dog is Norm. So there we go. And the owner is Sal. They decide to walk over to the restaurant in order to find a bit of shelter from the snowstorm that's happening and just wait it out. Okay, so I've made it a little bit further into the book and I just wanted to update you also about the book, but I just wanted to show you how cozy it is right now. I've just made myself a tea. We've put out our Christmas tree. There's like no decorations on it yet because we don't have any. I'm hoping to be able to get some soon, and yeah, I just wanted to show you. I'm like having such a little cozy time right now. Okay, so it's me from after having read The Visitor by Sergio Gomez, and I'm here just to say that I actually enjoyed this book and I would recommend you read it too. So if you would like to read it without any spoilers. I'll just put a timestamp on the screen right now so that you can choose whether you want to hear about the spoilers or not, and whether you want to go read this book before you hear me talk about it. So I'm just here to say that I actually really enjoyed this and I would recommend reading it. It was great. Going back to the book I'm reading. So a lot has happened. I am now 43% of the way through. I'm at page 34. I wanted to wait until halfway, but then I was like, no, I just need to talk about this right now. Another character was introduced. His name is Mosh, and he's like a writer, and right from the start, like, he's going to die. I'm pretty sure he's going to die, or something awful is going to happen to him, because he is like described pretty much like the annoying character, of the coward of the situation. He's a comedian, but his jokes aren't funny, so I think that's why he's going to die. I'm pretty sure there's going to be at least a couple of victims here. He's gonna be the first one, for sure. He's like made to be the first character that dies in a horror book. They try to make the situation cozy. There's like Christmas songs playing and everyone's getting food and coffee and everything, and things seem to be going well. They're like sharing stories about their lives and what they do. And then, of course, the lights go out in the diner. And of course, the owner has a backup generator, but it's not a particularly powerful one. Everything just keeps going dark, so the generator is not maybe functioning properly. Sal decides to go in the basement and just see what's going on with the generator. He goes down, and as he's going down, the lights go out again, and he screams. At that moment, Mosh, the comedian and poet apparently, he's like, I'm out. I don't want to be involved in this. He decides to just wait it out in his car instead, because he just gets freaked out. Xavier, Santiago, and this one customer decide to go check on Sal and see if he's hurt. So they take some kitchen knives and they start going down the basement, although it's very dark and they only got like this flashlight. And when they get there, Sal is not there, but they see that there's this other stairway and there's blood on the stairs all the way up to the door, and it's a lot of blood, and Sal is not in the basement. So something was waiting in the basement probably, and like dragged him, like hurt him and dragged him out of the door. So that's kind of creepy. I am gripped. I can't wait to see what's going to happen next. Also, the three guys are now in the basement, and of course, the door that goes back to the diner just suddenly shuts on its own. And I think there's only like one other person and the dog in the diner upstairs. So we've just gotten a bit of a description of the creature, I guess, that's been attacking these people. And it reminds me a lot of the Demogorgon from Stranger Things. It's really cool. They have like greenish skin. It says it looks a bit like alligator skin. The creepiest part though is their head, because they have like big insect eyes. Their mouth, it opens sideways and it's like their whole head. So they have the eyes on the sides and then the mouth in the middle like this, which is actually very creepy. Anyways, Mosh died. I knew it. I knew he would be the first one. He was attacked while he was in his car by one of these creatures. And then, following the guys in the basement, we go back to them, and one of the creatures, I don't know if it's the same one that attacked and ate Mosh. It was actually a pretty gruesome scene, because like the creature decapitated him and dragged him out of his car. Now the creature is in the basement with the men, and apparently Santiago has been stabbed. Like when he went up to see why the door had shut, there was someone on the other side of the door, and in the next scene he has a knife in his neck. Santiago is dying, and the monster
or the creature alien comes into the basement from the door that leads outside, the customer, Taiko, I think it's Taiko. Oh my god, why can't I remember these things? He just sees it, and he sees that it's targeting his wife, Ichiko, so he tries to stop him or to divert his attention. The creature jumps on Ichiko and bites her shoulder. So Ichiko stabs it in the eye. And that's also a pretty gruesome scene. Like, so this creature is like going around with a knife in its eye. I don't remember who just grabs hold of it and stabs a knife through its throat. There's like a bit of a battle. This creature is getting stabbed in the throat, and then Ichiko takes something heavy and she starts smashing the creature's head until it's pulp. I'm excited about what's going to happen because I don't think there's just one of these creatures, because otherwise it would make little sense that it's already dead. I think there's more coming. And I think they're going to make a bloodshed. Like, the scene right now in the basement was really bloody, so I can't wait for more of that. All right, so I finished The Visitor by Sergio Gomez, and I loved it. I don't understand why it has such a low rating on Goodreads. It was very over the top, ridiculous, and the alien might not have been that creative, but it was so much fun. I had so much fun reading this. So let me tell you what happens in the rest of the book. I took notes because it was a lot. They eventually decide to get out of the diner and try to escape. And then they find like this alien knife. So the person on the other side of the door was the other alien. They go out and they find Sal's body. So there's Xavier and there's Kaito. It wasn't Taiko. I don't know why I called him that. His wife, Ichiko, and they go out and they find Sal's body, and they find out that he's been like dismembered. It's a quite gruesome scene because like his legs are missing. They've been like eaten by the alien creature, and like his body has been opened up and like all of his organs are missing. That was quite gruesome. I enjoyed that. They figure out that the creature that attacked them was an alien dog, and that there's got to be his owner somewhere. So there's like at least 2 aliens that we know of at this point. And the other one that killed Santiago is a humanoid alien. We also get like a little chapter from the aliens' perspective, and apparently these aliens are studying humans' biology, so they're like opening them up and like sampling their organs and then taking them back to their home planet to study them. The 2 men and Ichiko are running, and we see from the alien's POV that he's like on the rooftop of the diner and he sees them running, and he has an alien rifle, and it's a laser rifle because of course it is. Like, what else? The alien points the laser rifle towards Kaito, and before they notice what's going on, he shoots and Kaito is dead. Xavier and Ichiko hide amongst the trees. The alien comes down from the roof and it starts hunting them with its alien laser rifle. The alien points the rifle towards, I think it's towards Ichiko, and then the dog, Xavier's dog, comes out from nowhere and bites the alien in the crotch. Ichiko takes the occasion to stab the alien, and she gets him like right above his collarbone. The alien loses his rifle, and then there's this like chapter that's called Dismemberment. The alien is about to stab Ichiko with its knife. At that moment, Xavier blows his arm off, and the alien is of course again distracted by this, but seems quite unfazed, honestly. But the rifle breaks, so Xavier can't use the rifle to shoot the alien again, because for some reason like the alien might have like a power to make the rifle break and then come back together, and it makes the rifle break in that moment so that Xavier can't use it anymore. Ichiko once again takes the knife from the alien and stabs its gas tank, which, smart, the alien starts to like thrash and suffocate. Xavier takes the rifle, which has come back together and is now working again, and shoots the alien in the head. So they're sure that it's just gone. So they leave the alien's dead body in the snow and they go to Ichiko and Kaito's cabin, which isn't far away. As they're going there, a UFO appears in the sky and they're a bit worried. The UFO kind of like just lands there and picks up the body of the dead alien, and then it just leaves. We just get this epilogue type chapter where, well, obviously Ichiko is mourning the loss of her husband, and Xavier decides to go look for his dog, who is actually alive. Like, the dog does not die in this one, which was a nice reprieve, but the book actually does end on a bit of a sad note, because in that moment the phone line comes back and Santiago's phone starts ringing and it's his wife. There's Xavier there who doesn't know whether to answer to tell her the bad news or not. The book ends like that. We don't know if he decides to answer or not. I actually really loved this book. It was great. I am happy to have read it. I am feeling the Christmas mood right now. Maybe not your typical Christmas mood, but it definitely helped. It was probably the best thing I've read so far. I mean, I haven't read that many, but it was really, really good. I would totally 100% recommend reading this horror book for Christmas, because, I mean, there was a lot of gore in it, but it wasn't quite extreme horror level. But yeah, I'll definitely read more by Sergio Gomez. I'm happy to say that I have enjoyed at least one of the books that I've read for this. But without further ado, let's spin the wheel and find out what I'm going to be reading next. Okay, seems like we're doing all of the extreme horror in one go, because the next book that's being picked is Santasploitation by Judith Sonnet. So the last two books will be just Chuck Tingle smut. I'm going to dive in right now and I'll come back to you with some updates later. Okay, I'm 25% through Santasploitation, which, I mean, it's not a very long book, fortunately. Things haven't gotten too much out of hand yet, but basically what's happened so far is that Santa wakes up and he's been tied to a chair and he's feeling a bit sick and he's like in someone's house. It's Christmas night. He was delivering gifts and somebody apparently drugged him. It turns out that this one woman put some poison in the cookies that he ate. She's tied him to this chair for a friend, and we find out that like he pays his elves in Christmas cheer, which is apparently a drug like heroin. Also, Santa is divorced because he like found his wife, Mrs. Claus, cheating on him with Jack Frost. Then Santa gets diarrhea because the poison in the cookies is acting on his digestive system. She goes to get a Tupperware box and makes him poop in that. Apparently Santa poops taffy and it gets turned into candy that is then sold to the public. It's a few pages later. I am now 43% through. I don't think I was expecting this. I was expecting some nasty stuff, but I wasn't expecting this. The woman that's drugged Santa, her name is Clementine. She apparently has been cooking all day long, and then he like asks again like why he's tied up. She explains that she has a friend who has an incurable disease and is going to die soon, and when asked what she wanted before passing, she said Santa. He then asks her to let him go ho ho ho, and then one of the friends arrive. I think they want to SA Santa, so that's not what I was expecting. My suspicions have just been confirmed, and now they've also put the candy cane up his behind. So, yeah, I don't think this is going to help with the Christmas mood. His soul felt like a dropped Christmas ornament, crumbled, cracked, and dusty. And then he thinks, God, please let it be quick. And I am actually like thinking the same right now. So, let me just explain a couple of the things that are going on. The sick friend arrives, and apparently, like, her husband left her because she was sick and he didn't want to be with a sick woman. Apparently, as well as Santa, this Clementine has also gotten hold of Harold, this woman's ex-husband. So now they're all sitting at the Christmas table, either while they're still eating or after. Lizzie, the sick woman, like strikes her ex-husband on the forehead with a hammer. She's taken a funnel, and I think she's gonna put it in the wound in his forehead. And Harold is like still alive as this is happening. So oh, there we go. Lizzie just pushed the funnel into the wound, and didn't go well for Harold. Oh wow. And her friends are like cheering her. You're doing such a good job, Lizzie. Oh yeah, no, it wasn't to get his brain out of his skull, but like to pour, I think it's acid into his brain with the funnel. I mean, of course, funnels are used to put things into something, not take them out. How dumb. And he's still alive, so they melt his brain. And there's like pink liquid coming out of all of his orifices. In his head, not the other ones. For now. Cranial juice. His left ear has apparently become a bit of a fountain. His eyes explode. And then like his head falls on the table, so the funnel like lodges into his brain even more. And there's like a deluge of brain cream fell out. Of brain cream. And that's when Santa starts to scream. But Lizzie, Clementine, and the other friend Mabel are cheering. Okay, so they're taking Santa into a bedroom. Okay, so now it's started. They're assaulting him. Oh my god, this is awful to read. It's gross. It's really, really gross. And I want to gag. Oh my god. The sick woman just told him to go up her chimney. Oh. Lizzie has removed herself from over Santa because something's going on with her. She's not feeling well, and Santa manages to just yank the gun out of Clementine's hand, and he frees himself with it. Like, he shoots the handcuffs and frees himself. And then Santa starts hitting Clementine, and I think he kills her. And now he's grabbed Mabel, the other friend. A window is broken, and one of the shards ends up in Mabel's eye. Lizzie fell and hit her head, and it says it looked like a secondary brain branching out from her first. And then Santa takes Lizzie's oxygen tank and drops it on her head, and her head explodes. Apparently just the top of her head though, so she's still alive, but Santa fixes that really quickly. Okay, so I've just finished it, and Santa gets out of the house, and he decides to go and deliver the Christmas presents anyways because he doesn't want to make the children sad, even though he is not doing very well. The last thing he says is holy shit. So that was Santasploitation. I'm going to read the afterword now, and then we're gonna pick which one of the two Chuck Tingle's smut books I'm going to read next. And they're gonna have to save Christmas for me because this did not help with the Christmas mood. All right, so I'm ready to spin. It's going to be Rudolph the red-nosed butt raptor. So buckle up. Good morning, party people. It's the next day, and so far, like, it's been setting the atmosphere. I'm like 9% through, so nothing has really happened yet. It's Christmas, of course. And there's this man who is desperate because he didn't get to send his gift to his parents in time. And he's looking for someone who could like deliver it by the next day. He gets redirected to the Rudolph building, where Rudolph himself apparently will be able to help him. Yeah, he's told to go to Suite 69 of the Rudolph building on Candy Cane Avenue. So yeah, now he is going to see Rudolph the Butt Raptor himself. Things, just like in the previous Chuck Tingle story that I read, they escalate very quickly. He's described immediately as a handsome velociraptor, and apparently the velociraptor, Rudolph, is shirtless and very sculpted. Rudolph apparently can time travel, which makes total sense, and so he just delivers the presents immediately. Our main character's name, by the way, is Turno Perps, and then, like, we just move on from that initial part, and Rudolph asks Turno if he'd like to go with him to his cabin. So of course they board the sleigh and they fly over Chicago over to Rudolph's cabin. And Rudolph is also described as like the legendary Christmas dinosaur, which is just beautiful, I think. So once they arrive at the cabin, they like don't waste any time. There's like no real foreplay here. They just start making out and taking off each other's clothes. But the situation moves on quickly. Turno grabs the prehistoric beast's aching rod and then goes to his knees. And apparently the dinosaur's rod is a candy cane. Every time Rudolph's bells slam against Turno's rump, there's a faint jingle. So that's poetic. And now Rudolph is putting his antlers where his candy cane previously was. The story ends after Rudolph has put his antlers there, and apparently there's like Christmas magic in his antlers, so that it makes the whole result even more powerful, and the air smells like gingerbread and everything is beautiful and magical. So that's an ending. So let me just go ahead and go purchase the last story. All right, so I have now started Pounded in the Butt by the unexpectedly early arrival of Christmas decorations. And okay, so this is maybe a little bit less Christmassy than the other ones because it's set in November. It's before Thanksgiving, and our main character is a big fan of basically all holidays, but in due time. So he's looking for Thanksgiving pumpkins and Thanksgiving decorations, and he goes to a grocery store to get some of those, but apparently they've already started putting out Christmas decorations instead of Thanksgiving ones, because apparently that's what people want. This character gets a bit of a extreme reaction, which understandable. He sees the Christmas decorations and starts screaming. The other customers in the store are kind of concerned about this. He runs out of the store. On the way to his car, he sees other stores with Christmas decorations in the windows, and he's like really panicked by this. On the way home, he sees a creature, and this creature is the physical manifestation of the unexpectedly early arrival of Christmas decorations. And it looks like it has tentacles with multiple string-like appendices erupting from his round body. Various Christmas paraphernalia floats around him in orbit as the man uses his glowing tentacles to decorate a nearby building. So our main character, his name is Joel, and the Christmas decoration spirit or whatever, his name is Yuln. They start a conversation, and Joel tells him that people can give each other presents and show love and do good deeds on other times of the year than Christmas. And well, the Christmas monster here is kind of taken aback by this, like he hadn't really thought about it. And he's like, yeah, well, if there isn't just Christmas love, then what other kinds of love are there? And of course, Joel is like, well, there's romantic love and there's physical love. And the Christmas monster is like, physical love? They start getting it on, and it's extremely similar to the previous story, because this Yuln also has a candy cane, and even just the sequence of actions that are taken is like basically the same. And then he's like aching with gay lust. This is also all happening in a street, and then he tells him, come F me like you've just F'd over Thanksgiving. Some of these same expressions are used. One doesn't really need to read all of Chuck Tingle's Christmas stories because they are incredibly similar to each other. So, you know, you just read one and you're good. When the Christmas monster is done pounding Joel tells him, blow your Christmas load all over my face. Apparently tastes like cinnamon and sugar. Then a car passes by and the driver just shouts Merry Christmas to them. And then the story ends. I don't know, I think this one was my least favorite of the ones I read, just because it was just so similar to the previous one. I do kind of feel a bit more in the Christmas mood, but out of all of these, I feel like the ones that I would really just recommend would be just The Visitor by Sergio Gomez, because that one was excellent. And basically that's it. I guess you could read one Chuck Tingle. I think that would help with the Christmas spirit as well. I'm not gonna call it Christmas cheer because that had an entirely different meaning in the books. So there we go. That's the end of this vlog. I hope you enjoyed. And let me know if you would like me to do something like this again in the future. And if you're still here, I really appreciate you, and feel free to leave me a like, subscribe, maybe leave me a comment, and tell me your favorite Christmas story if you have any, or even if you like reading Christmas stories or not. I typically don't, but I guess now I have read a bunch of them and I'm going to just not read anything else that's Christmas related until December next year, because I've had enough, honestly. So yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone, I guess, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!